truth and pushing false narratives upon you.
Forgive me, I still let me turn off Jason's show. There we go. Sorry about that. I do not know if Larry's going to be here. Some of us couldn't find Jason at all on here, but I found him on Crowdsource the Truth 2, his backup Crowdsource the Truth channel. So, with the censorship going on, we've got to get really creative to find people. Is it true that the UN is buying land in Nevada for camps for illegals? I don't know. I would imagine there's probably locations being set up to. I heard someplace that they had thousands of acres that they were setting up housing for illegals. It's hard to know what's going on, and there's only so much that Larry gets involved in because he's dealing with stuff that's happening in Congress, and whether he could do anything more than that or gets information. Sometimes whistleblowers will tell him things. Sometimes he cannot or will not say what he knows for security reasons, for his own saving his own life. For example, getting into the pedophilia and stuff, he may know things that are happening, but he's been very concerned about the whistleblowers in that area. And he told us about that pretty Arkansas state legislator who was investigating CPS in Arkansas and what a problem it was. So, hey, are you going to be able to join us? Yeah, I bet it did. Okay, I sent you the link already. I am already up and on. Just give me a second to grab the microphone and plug it in. I feel bad. I got a new phone in the mail today from somebody. Thank you very much. It did arrive. I was hoping we'd have it set up. I was hoping the link would work, but by the time I got home from my meeting today, I was charging the phones. And I needed to keep this phone active and didn't unplug this phone to plug in the new one. So we can't use the new one today. We'll have to go with this. So give me a second. I've got you now on speaker. So I need to turn the heater off so that won't make noise. And give me 1 minute to move the computer up higher so I can... I'll put my phone up there. Just give me a sec, Larry. I got to get myself organized here. And so, got a pen, got my paper. Take it away. Go ahead. Today, by the way, is November 12th. I didn't say that earlier.
Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I'm late coming, and I'm just not going to be able to stay long. That Joe took it out of me. But I did want to come and give you a couple of tips of things that may be coming out sooner than later. But number one, it looks as though this whole ordeal with the whistleblower, I just said it on Jason, so I guess I'm in trouble. It's out. But it appears that Adam Schiff wrote this script, this whole whistleblower concept months ago. We think that it was predicated at the time when it looked like they had found out apparently that the Mueller report was going to get nowhere. That had to have been somewhere in the middle of the Mueller report process. And at that point, apparently Mr. Schiff and I just learned on Jason's program when he looked up Adam Schiff, come to find out he's a screenwriter, or wants to be a screenwriter, and he writes about spooky stuff. Well, it looks like he wrote this entire script, much like you would a manuscript or a screenplay for a movie. It's one of the reasons they are so protective of, quote unquote, that whistleblower. It's looking like there's going to be, instead of one whistleblower, it looks like there were three different people playing the role of one whistleblower. And it was designed to know, they knew that there were a lot of career employees, like Strzok and Page, Comey, all of those guys. They know or knew that there were a lot of people like that out in the government, all over the government. And they just needed a way to get to those people and get them to start turning on the president, give them a vehicle to come forward with. So hence, they put this whole scam together. And that explains now why Schiff the other day, in sort of a press conference thing he was doing, he actually came out and said, you know, I know there are others of you that know stuff, I'm paraphrasing, that know stuff, and you need to be patriots like the whistleblower. You need to have courage and get hold of them with what you know. You see, he's soliciting people to come to them with more stories that they can turn into scandals to use against the president. It's all a scam. It's all a screenplay. And it's all set up to work. And then the other thing that's going on, I finally heard somebody today on television for just a minute. They made a point that's so very, very true. What Adam Schiff and the Democrats are doing, they're literally violating. Even though they have the rules on their side, they can do pretty much what they want to do relative to these hearings. They can. But what they're doing is they are usurping the powers of the presidency. So therefore, they're violating the Constitution in what they're doing. You see, we have separation of powers still in this country. We're supposed to have separation of powers. That means there's an executive branch, a legislative branch, and a judicial branch. And no one branch can take over and control the other two branches. You got it? You can't do that. So in a case like we're seeing, what would be the true constitutional manner by which a situation like this should be handled? Well, the answer is what you would have to do if you want to subpoena people from the president, and the president doesn't want them to testify for whatever reason, executive privilege, whatever the reason is, because he has the right to say no to a myriad of reasons. You simply then go to the arbitrator, which at this point would be the court. And you go to the court and you say, now, we want to talk to this person, you subpoena them, but they don't want to come voluntarily, so will you force them to come? And then at that point, they have to give justification why they should be forced to come. See, Schiff didn't want to do that.
Hang on a second. Hey, Larry, hang on a second. I mean, we saw them take the FISA to be able to do stuff, and they just lied about it. So how does the court know that what they're doing when they're bringing all this justification, that there's any truth to what they're saying, that they should, that the court should cooperate?
Number one, there's a difference in the court they'd have to come to with this and the FISA court. The FISA court is secret. It's no one's supposed to know, right? I mean, it's supposed to, by law, be secretive. But the courts you've got to go to convince someone to honor a subpoena, that's just the federal court. And in that presentation, the defense, in this case President Trump and his lawyers and his staff, they would be allowed to present their argument against such a move. So that's the way it's supposed to happen. They're not doing that. They're not doing it. They're trying to break down the power now and forever of the presidency, the executive branch. If they get by with it, that's what they would have done. So do you understand why I'm so concerned? Then another thing that I want to talk quickly about, because my finger's coming up. San Francisco. A man won district attorney race. This guy has said during his race, and he admitted, he will not allow people urinating on the streets or in public sidewalks. He will not allow them to be arrested. He will not allow homeless people that set up camps right in front of businesses. He will not allow them to be arrested. I mean, he's going against everything that would make sense in a human society today. Everything. And then come to find out, his parents were involved. As a matter of fact, his father is still in prison for their participation with the Weather Underground. And then, as a part of his resume, so it's not like it was a secret, when his father and mother were taken away, he was raised by none other than Will Ayers and some other person, I can't remember their name, but Ayers is the one that ought to scare you. Bill Ayers. Now, why does this bother me? San Francisco, I don't care about San Francisco. The people elect him, so what? That's what they want, that's what they get. But this connects, I'm telling you, to George Soros. George Soros, I'll bet you funded this man's campaign in a big way. You may not be able to find it by the way they batch and put money together in other people's names. But this is exactly what Soros has pledged to do in this election cycle, 2018, by going around and funding prosecutors, district attorneys, sheriffs, all over the country, down ballot tickets. San Francisco, it may be. There are so many homeless people that just because they're homeless, they still can vote, most of them. So in an off election like the one they had, turnout would probably be very, very light. So you see, if you had all the old homeless people show up and vote, you can win an election there easy. That may be how you won. Folks are coming after us hard. Hard. The writing's on the wall. These people are criminals. These people are stealing our country. They're stealing the future of our children right out from under us. Right out from under us. And they're not even saying, sorry, we screwed you over. They're just taking and taking and take some more. But that, Mary Ellen, I've got to get off my feet.
Yes. Okay.
It's going to make me nuts again.
Okie doke. Thank you, Larry, for being here for a little bit. Appreciate it greatly.
Is there any questions that I need to answer?
No, there weren't any questions submitted yet. So, okay, thank you.
Sorry, what?
None submitted yet. So thanks for being here. God bless you. All right,
Thank you
bye.
all. See you tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
Wow, folks, he's starting to get quite a rattle in his lungs. That worries me to hear that rattling when he's trying to breathe. His inhalation with a rattle, that's kind of scary. Please do whatever you can to help. His PayPal account, Larry's, I'm typing. PayPal account is Nichols live at AOL.com. That is the fastest way to get any money to him because it goes into his account immediately. I've got a couple $100 that have come in that I will be sending to him tomorrow, but it doesn't clear until midnight tonight. So, Donald, the idea of getting Catholics to vote, yes, we need to do that to get them to support Trump. So would you please do your best to spread the word in that community? Larry is busy right now trying to work on this whole issue with Soros and what he's found out about these down ballot races, and to see what just happened in San Francisco and what is going on. Just remember that in San Francisco, they just also said that if anybody goes into a store and steals anything, they are not going to prosecute up to $900 per event. And so I understand there are people going in on a daily basis and walking out with big screen TVs or whatever they can get for under $900. They're not going to get prosecuted. How in the world is a business supposed to stay in San Francisco under those circumstances? No wonder, we hear that Californians are leaving in droves, but guys, it's a big problem when these Democrats leave and go somewhere else and keep voting Democrat. You don't like what your Democrat vote did for your state, and then you're going to leave and repeat it somewhere else. It's the same thing we have it with the illegal immigration issue. If people don't want to assimilate to become part of what our country is, why are you coming here? If you want to make our country like your home country, stay home. This kind of common sense is so missing, and it is intentionally missing because that is what they are trying to do to destroy our country. Don't know anything about fires near San Francisco. I know there are fires in the north and south of San Francisco, and they're big. There was a big fire someplace had was it Idaho had a big fire, and the snow came in and squashed it, thank God. Julie, I don't know about that statistic on pedophilia in the government. I have no idea. I do know that the lobbyists who have these big parties, they want to find out what fetishes these politicians have. Do they drink? What do they drink? Do they use drugs? What kind of drugs do they use? Are they party animals? Do they like women? Do they like men? Do they like children? How young do they like? All the kinds of things they do. And they provide these things for these people at these parties, and then take pictures, have hidden secret cameras, and use this information as blackmail to force them to vote for the way they want. Yes, I know who Roy Potter is, and I don't know about what he said. And, we need to be careful about things like this. If we don't have verification, we need to see the verification. And Larry tells us things because he gets information directly. Don't forget about his magic mailbox that he wrote about in 28 Years to Nowhere. He calls it his magic mailbox, and people send him whistleblower information, and he will talk to the whistleblower if he knows who it is. And if he doesn't know it is, then he's going to do some research to find out if there's any truth to it. So he is very careful. If he's stating something as a fact, then he has proof that can go into a court of law that what he is stating is true. If he doesn't have proof that stands up in court, then he's going to tell you that it's just his opinion. So, or he will give give his sources. Gloria, I agree on that question about the speed rail and the fires and the location, the maps of where that high speed rail is supposed to go. I have heard, I'm not going to speculate on that because I just don't know. And there's no point in my being any kind of a person who gets information and spews it out without knowing for sure the facts. So I agree. The decay of our society is something we never could have imagined years ago. And good question. What does Pelosi know and when did she know it? That's a big question. Isn't her husband a big wig in the high speed rail? I'm just asking. I really don't know. Anyhow, folks, I don't know what to do for Larry today. I'm just at a loss. I can't do anything more myself today. I am going down to trying to watch this weather. It's supposedly staying west of me or has blown off into the east further than I am with this snowstorm and all. And it keeps trying to snow here, and I certainly don't want to be on the roads down to DC, even if I'm going down to pray, if the roads are going to be slick. So I'm a little stumped on what to do with this lady who's in town, and we were going to do some prayer things together. So anyhow, appreciate prayer for me, for Larry. And I know you're asking questions that, Larry, I think with a lot of these questions would say he doesn't know because that's not the area he's dealing with. Remember what Larry said a couple of weeks ago, there are lots and lots of issues. He'd like to answer whatever questions if he knows the answer. But the issue is we have to get our president back in the White House next year. That has to be the biggest priority for all of us. And if we're here to support Larry, that has to be our priority. And Larry is working, it would seem, when he tells us so much about what's going on with Schiff's committee, it would seem that he's talking to people about what's happening there. And he said something big's going to happen tomorrow. And, he told Jason that perhaps Jason should do another interview with him on Thursday. I hope that doesn't bump us out of our slot. I would like for Jason to do whatever he's going to do away from our time and not kick us out like we get kicked out on Tuesdays. I don't know if there'll be any live stream of the hearings tomorrow. I really have no idea. Certainly Larry let us know that there are 3 different people that are claiming to be this whistleblower, or part of the whistleblower stuff. And yes, we know there are many. Oh, I can tell you something. I think I can tell you something I heard yesterday. So there's a representative from Washington. I don't know her last name. She voted for the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership that Trump realized was so bad for our country, and he stopped it or blocked it with an executive order. This politician voted for the TPP, and her friend is the one that's here for prayer. And this politician claims to be a Christian. When she voted for the TPP, she had $800,000 put in her account as an award for her vote, and she's a Republican. I wonder how many other politicians got big dollar items like that when you think there's over 500 House members plus 100 or 400, over 400 House members plus 100 in the Senate. How many of those got a big bonus for voting for the TPP? We are so close, like Larry says, Rub your forefinger and thumb together, and the space that you see in between is how close we are to losing our country. He's been saying this for years, and this is a problem. And so we just really, we are on our last leg, and we are seeing so much happening where the communists have taken over. They are acting as if we are already a communist country with the way things are running. And so we just have less than a year now to make the difference. So I appreciated, I can't remember the name of the person who put this in the chat, but she said, she made 3 single word statements that I wholeheartedly endorse, and I have been spreading that mantra out. She said, pray, speak, act. And I think we need to do that. We need to be paying attention. And I think more than any other time in history, it is important to pay attention to what's going on in the country, to pay attention to what's going on in Washington. Pay attention, pray, keep your ear to the ground, be here, invite other people here, share the videos. And the Jason Goodman is the person who has the show. And I'm typing Jason Goodman. And he's got crowdsource the truth. And his backup channel is crowdsource the truth 2, number 2, the numeral 2, crowdsource the truth 2. So I think that's where I found him on my computer. I don't know if you're seeing a lot of fuzziness on my screen. It looks very fuzzy to me today. It's very grainy. Don't know what's going on. I can't believe how many people's channels are being taken down, Mimi, for naming the whistleblower. So, and Facebook pages are being shut down, and Jason had his Facebook Live shut down for naming the whistleblower. So I'm not going to say it out loud. Adam Schiff wrote the whistleblower's statement. He thinks it was written, during when they realized the Mueller report wasn't going to give them what they wanted to impeach the president. And so Jason told Larry today that Adam Schiff is a wannabe screenwriter or has actually written things. And so he is a writer, and so this is what he wrote. This anonymous book that has come out, Larry said yesterday he wonders if it was Adam that wrote it. So I don't know what that flash of light was. Could be the weather blowing in. It's supposed to stay west of me, and I'm getting a little concerned because if I'm going to go down to DC, I need to leave imminently. So we got problems in this country, big time. Larry's letting us know what's happening. And if there is any way you can help yourself, ask others to help, spread the word, do whatever you can. And if you can't do anything, then please, please pray that somebody else will be able to step up. I don't know, James, if that's true. Larry's health, when his fever goes up, it goes into very, very dangerous territory, very, very high. And in his weakened condition, we have to, it certainly is an issue. Pain level, I don't know, probably a 15 on a scale of 1 to 10. Anyhow, I'm gonna say goodbye. Thank you for being here. Thank you for what you have given to Larry. Thank you for what you have shared. And we'll be back tomorrow, one way or another. And God bless you. Bye now.